Happy middle of December, you guys. This month is flying. Um, Today, we'll talk for a few minutes about and share a win for the week. And today we have Harmony with us, and she lives in Kauai. So while we are all freezing, she is living in those low 70s. My brother said it was like 75 today, and he said that's their winter. So I do know the ocean does technically get colder in the winter, slightly, but it's still pretty amazing. So today I wanted to share, we haven't done a win in a while. So will you guys go around and just share a win for the week, what you did for yourself, for your health, something that pushed you in the direction that you committed to going when you started this journey. Who wants to start first? If not, I'll pick.
I can go.
I will. Oh.
My steps, I'm like meeting all of my steps, which from the help of Maki, it's a good thing. And then I also did that big donation yesterday of decluttering. So anyway, I had two. How about that?
That's awesome. Okay, Mel, what have you got?
I did my IPA every day, and I got a level 1.
Yay! I love it. What did you do for your health this week, too? Add that one in, too.
That's why I was hesitating. There was something I wanted to say. I really did well with 10 minutes of personal growth. Usually it's a struggle for me, and a lot of that was watching like videos of others, and I really learned a lot. I really liked it. And even there was one book shared, Believe in Yourself. I got chills, goosebumps. So it was nice to like take at least those 10 minutes to really follow through with that.
What did you like most about that video?
The Believe in Yourself. I don't know, like I forget what her name was, but it was just it just hit home, because I think sometimes I can negative self-talk or like be a little bit pessimistic. So just like remembering to like look on the other side of things.
Yeah, I love that. So we talk a lot in Plexus about limiting beliefs and how certain preconceived beliefs in ourselves, or things that our parents taught us when we were young, or things that we have come to believe over the years about ourselves, how they limit our growth and our success, because there's just something in our brain that tells us we are whatever it is. We're not skinny enough, we're not pretty enough, we are not good at math. I kind of called my dad out the other day because he is very fast at math, but I'm good at math. And so I said something, and I said something like times 4, and I said 11 instead of 12, and he immediately corrected me and said, see, you're not that good at math. And I said, whoa, stop. And I said, I'm just not as fast as you. It does not mean that I'm not as good as you. And so that is something that just like rolls off his tongue. You're not good at math. And for years I believed that, but then I'm like, well, then how was I in pre-calculus as like a sophomore? You may have helped me at home, but I had to have done something at school, right? I had to have passed the test on my own. So that's actually not true. And I've been helping Ronan for 10 months with his math, and he's doing fantastic. So it's like that voice that's automatic out of his mouth that I had to correct. And then I've had to correct it in my own head. But I love that you shared that, because there's a lot of examples of that in our life. And if we hear it and we can recognize it, then we can kind of flip it and be like, oh, hold on, wait a minute. Why do I believe this? Or why couldn't I believe something different? So I love that you shared that. Okay, Elaine. Oh, can't hear you. Hold on.
Oh,
there you go.
Okay. I've had a lot going on. And so I came home one day and I decided I was going to take some time, and I went up and did some embroidery for me, just to do it.
What are you working on?
I made it. I'm towels. I did some towels with Christmas prints.
I love it.
So, but yeah, it's something I haven't done a lot of it lately. So took some time for myself
That's fantastic.
to de-stress, I guess. That would be it.
And do something that you're passionate about and that you love doing.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
Harmony, we'll go to you. What did you do for yourself this week?
So I actually did something really awesome. It was something I've never done before. I did, it's called baby therapy. So I took my baby to a place where there's senior citizens that suffer from depression. And they just played with my baby for an hour. And the baby just lights them up and makes them super happy. So it then fulfilled me as well. So that was amazing. And I will definitely be doing it again.
I love that. We actually read to some seniors last month with my kids' school, and the same thing. The people just went up and they rotated through kids, and I was like, is this too much? And she's like, oh no. She's like, we hardly ever get to see kids. We just love this. So I love that you do that. I know animal therapy and baby and kid therapy is so important. To go on a hilarious note, I read this article that said that a whole group in a home, they said, what would you like for Christmas? And she said, a man. So this home brought her wishes true, and they had men show up and in aprons and serve them dinner and give them a back massage on a chair. And they lit up. They were laughing. They were having a blast. And one girl said, for my 100th birthday, I would like them to come back. And they said, okay. Because they thought, how are we going to deny this? So they got men to come in and serve them dinner. But I just thought that was so fun and funny. And what a way to just light people up, and have a little fun with the holidays, and to still be appropriate, but to really lift people up and make people smile. So, okay. So for me, what did I do? Usually when I work out, I listen to music. And this week I changed to listen to the Road to Ruby videos and other things, because I have a hard time fitting all those in, and I always have a giant list. So I chose to sub my music out for something that was more uplifting and positive and motivational. And then that was fantastic, because that put in my 10 minutes of personal growth in. I got probably at least 20 to 30 minutes in every day by listening to those. So I'm just recommitting to exercise yet again in the winter. Is always a challenge, but super important for mental health. So something I wanted to share on really quick before we go on to harmony is I wanted to talk a little bit about success, and kind of what we define success as. So success for a lot of people is like a destination, right? So when I achieve this, I will be successful. And when I achieve this certain destination, then that's when I will be successful. But what does that mean to you? So is success for you, I don't know, I guess I'd like to just kind of open this up to discussion about what you think success is, and then share a couple thoughts on what I've read this week that contributes to that. Do you guys want to unmute yourselves really quick and chip in? What do you think, what is success to you?
I think success could be setting a goal and reaching it, but I really think that sometimes you stop then. So I think success is always striving to continue to reach new goals and keep bettering yourself. Something along that.
Yeah, and so this article talked a lot about success being part of the journey. The success is in the journey. If you have a destination. So for one, we know that if you reach 10 pounds, will you be perfectly happy? No. Like if you lose those 10 pounds, maybe you then want to set a new goal, or maybe you just say, I just really want to feel healthy and to feel strong, and make those kind of a more immeasurable goal, because that is more of a long-term plan. So I want to feel healthy, I want to feel strong, and that becomes part of your progress and your process. And so a lot of the success equation, it says, has to do with being good to yourself, treating yourself with kindness and encouragement along your life journey, and to celebrate all victories, large and small. So that means daily, what did you succeed in today? And daily, what are the small steps that you took to get to where your end goal is? It says simply having the determination to pursue your happiness, your goals, and your dreams is a massive success in itself. Because right now, we're all successful. Like, you are successful right now doing what you're doing, and then continuing that journey or restarting or making any movement forward is considered a success. And so it's not a destination, and it's not something that you arrive at one day. It has to do with like everyday individual choices, actions, and experiences, no matter how big or small they are. So I love that this article talked about being true to who you are. And I think that something that is probably one of the key things is really when you are true to yourself and what you believe in, that in itself is successful. You don't have to change who you are. You don't need to be somebody you're not, but finding like the happiness and joy in your journey is really important. It says how you choose to respond to everyday circumstances. And it says, there's a quote that I loved that had a picture on it, and it said, you know you're on the right track when you have no interest in looking back. So I would love for you guys to think about it this week and say, as you look on your health journey and where you've come so far, do you feel like have you ever hit the point where you're like, I wish I could just go back to where I was before I started this? I wish I could go back and that this just didn't happen. Probably not. I would like to think not. And if that's the case, then you know you're on the right track. You know that you might not be exactly where you want to be now, but you know that you are on track, that you have some successes, and that if you continue your journey and continue this path, that more successes will come along the way, but they don't happen immediately, and they don't happen within a specific time parameter. And that goes for everything in life, that the things that you aim for, like whatever you're determining to have, more money or more happiness or more joy, just keep putting those things into your funnel, right? If you want more money, then you work for that. And if you want more joy in your life or more happiness or more gratitude, you have to put all those in your funnel, and then the results come. So that's my thought for this week. And then I want to turn the time over that we have left to Harmony with her cute little baby. And I would love for her to share her story and how she came to learn about the products and why she started, what she's currently taking, and then a little bit about how she started sharing with people around her.
Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Okay. Cool. So yes, Julia, it is winter here on Kauai, hence the long sleeve shirt. It's about 75 degrees and it feels pretty chilly to us. You know, it's interesting because when I'm in these situations where it's a smaller group of people, I feel like I'm able to be a little bit more open with you guys about my story, even though I see, you know, the little record button in the corner. I know that I'm safe, and I know that I'm in a safe group of people. So I'm just going to go ahead and share everything from the very beginning of my plexus journey and even a little bit before that. So from the time, I'm going to take this left earring out because I see a catastrophe about to happen. Baby always pulls the left earring out. From the time I was a young teenager, I had really bad stomach issues. And I was a dancer. I was a ballet dancer. And I even remember the girls in class making fun of me because I, you know, having stomach issues, I had gas. I did. And it was embarrassing. And it was not fun, and it was something I was teased a lot about. And I remember my mom taking me for allergy testing and, you know, having me eat like the Beano capsules or whatever they were before a meal. I got off of dairy, I got off of gluten. I tried so many things to heal my gut, and I didn't know what was wrong. It just never got better. It was, in fact, perpetually worse year by year. And I got to the point where I feel like I actually developed somewhat of an eating disorder because I couldn't eat anything. So it wasn't like it happened because I wanted to be skinny. It happened because I just didn't want this stomach ache. So I basically, by the time I met Brooke, was living on grapes and popcorn because those were the only two things that I could eat. I was teaching 4 or 5 fitness classes a day, and I was drinking copious amounts of caffeine to keep myself going throughout the day. So I would start with a soup bowl-sized cup of coffee, and then by midday I would reach for a yerba mate, and then before my evening fitness class I would drink one of those like nasty gas station energy drinks. And I just knew that that wasn't sustainable. I knew that it wasn't a good way to live, but I really wasn't willing to make a change for myself. And I figured, you know, if I say that it's a problem, then it's a problem. But if I just pretend like it's not happening and I'm just normal and this is just how life is for me, then it's not really a problem. And I don't like to do things wrong. So I just kept saying, I don't have a problem. There's nothing wrong with me, until I decided that I wanted to get pregnant. And that's when I realized that there was something wrong, and that if I wanted to have a healthy pregnancy, if I wanted to even get pregnant, I needed to balance my issues out. I needed to be able to eat food. I needed to figure out my health issues, and I needed to get regular with my hormones. So enter Brooke Hemingway. She had, at the time, 5 beautiful babies. She was teaching at my fitness studio, and she was pregnant with little Gracie. And she was doing, you know, all of these classes and jumping around like a crazy woman and had all this energy. And I knew she wasn't drinking coffee. And so I was like, okay, Brooke, I guess I'm ready to hear more about Plexus, because she actually had messaged me probably 6 or 7 months prior, and I pretty much ignored her message. I just, you know, I figured it's not for me, you know, that's for people that have problems, and I don't have a problem. So I ignored her. And then when I was ready to start a family, I just decided, you know, I'm going to talk to her because she seemed safe and she seemed like somebody I could trust, and somebody that wasn't going to broadcast all the things that I was telling her, because I'm actually very private about my personal life. And so I decided that I would, you know, give it a shot and try something, but I really couldn't afford it. That was the other thing. I opened this dance and fitness studio. I took out loans. We borrowed money from family members to do it. And so for my husband and I, being a 2-income household, I really just couldn't see it in my budget to buy the product. So Brooke gave me a 7-day trial, and I started with that. And of course, I really didn't want to stop after the 7 days, because I already noticed that I was not drinking coffee. I wasn't reaching for that yerba mate midday. I was starting to wake up and feel refreshed in the morning. So those were some of the first things I started to notice. And so I said, how do I get my products paid for? Because I had heard that was something you could do, and I didn't really know what that meant at all, but I was open to it. And being in group fitness, I figured it would probably be pretty easy for me to find some friends that were also looking for better energy, because that's what I was feeling at the moment. So Brooke kind of gave me some simple steps to follow. I know you guys are probably doing the same steps, but it was really just telling people that it had worked for her. I wasn't sure how it was going to work for me, but I really, really wanted to give it a shot. and if they wanted to join me as accountability partners. And that's how I started sharing. My first ambassador was my friend Morgan, and she is actually a gold on my team now, almost senior gold. And she and I have grown an amazing, amazing friendship from sharing together. We sit on my couch once or twice a week and we message people, and we just have this really great little connection that I don't know if we would have had without Plexus. So that part of it's been amazing. And then my other two first ambassadors are also still on the product. One is the wife of our little town physician. And then my third ambassador is her husband, Dr. Capelli. And so those were my first three, and they're all still on the product, and they all still love them. And one out of the three of them shares, which is incredible. And from there, I just realized that I could do this, and I got pregnant, which was amazing. So I knew that once I had my baby, I wouldn't be teaching 5 workout classes a day. And I needed to find a way out of that too. So my background was as a hairstylist before, and of course in the back of my mind was, okay, I could go back to doing hair. I could do that 3 days a week and probably make enough to keep us afloat. But that's not what I wanted, and that's not what I want. I don't want to just keep us afloat. I want more, and I want to give back. I want to have more for this little nugget. I want our life to be comfortable, and I don't want to have to worry about paycheck to paycheck and paying bills off. I just wanted to know that that could, be something that I wouldn't have to worry about. So I decided to dive headfirst into the business and really make it my lifestyle, which proved to be a really smart thing to do, because about 6 months in, my husband lost his job, and the company he worked for basically went under. And so I actually supported us for a couple of months on my senior gold Plexus ambassador wages. And I'm not saying it was a glamorous life, but I was able to. And so it was pretty amazing that I didn't have to leave my baby. I could stay home with her, and I could still keep us afloat. So that was incredible. Around the same time, all of my cystic acne disappeared, which was amazing because we were at like a really stressful time in life, and I would have thought that my acne that I'd had my whole life would have gotten worse, but it actually completely cleared up and got way better. So that was like the icing on my Plexus cake. Not only did my IBS go away and my hormones balanced out. Sorry guys, let me get her something to chew on. Hang on. But my cystic acne cleared up, and I realized that that was all linked to hormonal imbalance. So once the candida yeast got out of the system and everything kind of cleared up from the inside out, then my outward appearance started to reflect the way I was feeling on the inside, which was clean and healthy and glowing. So then I started Joyome because it didn't come out until right around the time my baby was born, and that was incredible because all of my breakouts that I had had for my whole life left a lot of scarring on my skin. So it was like red, kind of pitted scars, and although the acne was gone, the scars remained. And then the Joyome came in and just kind of erased all of that, as if I have a filter all following me around in life, which is pretty incredible. I was never a person that went without makeup. Even my husband never really saw me without makeup because I just was embarrassed by it. So it's pretty amazing now to be able to go without makeup. And, I was just actually filming, I was on my Instagram stories, and I was filming this video for like how to pop your ponytail. So excuse my silly 80s hairdo right now. But anyway, I was filming it, and I kept thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I would have been so embarrassed to be filming this video before, because I know that in the lighting I was in, you would have seen this whole like beard of cystic acne, and I didn't have it. And I was like almost in tears, like this is amazing. And even though it's just a silly little Instagram story video, it just made me feel so good that I could go on and feel confident and comfortable with myself. So Julia wanted me to share what I take, and this is actually what I've been taking from day one. I started on the triplex with XOS Slim. I needed the extra prebiotic, so that was the only option at the time, but I've stuck with that option even though the hunger control came out after. And I take, you're gonna die when you hear this, I take 6 BioCleanse every night. I'm a very constipated girl, and that's what I need. So I take 6 of them a night. So keep that in mind if you have anybody with that issue. They just might need to take more than you think. I take 3 Probio 5 a night. And then I actually some days take an extra BioCleanse during the day, just depending. I take Vital Biome 1 in the morning, and I didn't start that until after I had Maya. And I started that as a preventative measure so that in case I got a baby blues or postpartum or something like that, I would have counterbalanced that. I'm all about preventative medicine, so I started that before I had any sort of baby blues. And then what else? I drink the lean shake now just for fun because I like a good protein shake. So I drink that, and I use Joyum. That's basically my regime, and that's what I've been doing, the whole time, and I haven't wavered from it. Everything's been working really well for me. So that's what I do. And one last thing before I finish here, I have this book that I've been reading, and it's called Heart and Cell. So like heart and soul, but heart and cell. But there was this quote in it that I was like, you know what, I need to share this with Julia's call today because I think it's just such a really great quote. So basically she says in this book, make a commitment to growth and surround yourself with others who have done the same. And I think that's what we do in these accountability calls. And so I feel like for all of you guys showing up here today, that's exactly what you're doing. You're committing to your own growth and surrounding yourself with others that have that same momentum, that same passion for what you're doing. And I think that can take us so far. To answer your question, Julia, I don't have any gas anymore. It's incredible. It's amazing. I don't have to blame it on the dog. Like, boy, that was Cacao. He's such a gassy dog. No, I don't have to blame it on the dog. I don't have gas anymore. I've been, in fact, eating a cabbage soup detox for like 2 weeks now, and no gas. I feel completely great. No bloating, no constipation, no indigestion. No diarrhea, which was, of course, the other problem that goes with the constipation. Like, once it finally comes out, it's like run to the bathroom, and so none of that. Feeling really, really good. Elaine, I need to connect you with my mom because she does embroidery, and she's in an amazing embroidery group on Facebook that you have to join. It's super cool, so I'm going to connect you guys. And this woman actually on the embroidery group just told my mom that she should stick with crocheting, and I felt so bad for her. So I'm like, Mom, I need to get you some friends in this group because that lady is mean. So Elaine, I'm going to connect you. And anyway, guys, it was really good to be here. Melanie and Shauna, I'll see you guys in like a half an hour. And Julia, thank you so much for having me on the call.
Yes, thank you so much for coming. It was great to see you guys all tonight. We'll wrap this up, but thank you. We learned so much, and I love your story, and that you can do all this with a baby in tow, because that's one of the wonderful things that we can do with flexibility.
Can I ask a quick question with constipation? Like you were saying, like once you start going, like diarrhea kind of kicks in a little bit. So what did you do to kind of get like past that? Like, did you just continue to add Probio 5 or?
Shauna, so I'm kind of like an all-in girl. So I knew it was going to be a little bit tricky, and I knew that there might be some times where I was going to have to deal with diarrhea being an effect. But what Brooke did was she brought me down to 3 and 3. So 3 BioPlan, 3 ProBio 5. When I started having that kind of like extreme thing happening, and the 3 was enough to kind of just slightly calm down my stomach. And then if I felt like I wasn't going enough, I would go up to 4, and then 5, and then 6, just depending. And I kind of would waver between 3 and 6. And then I was at 3 pretty much my whole pregnancy. But after I had the baby, I started to get a little constipated again, which I guess is normal. She's my first baby, so I didn't know that that was normal. But in the hospital, they were trying to give me like Dulcolax and all this different stuff. And I was like, no, I've got my BioCleanse, I'm good. So that's when I jumped back up to like 5 or 6, and I've kind of stayed with that ever since.
So did she teach you through that process of like when you were saying what you were at 3 and 3 and you kind of went 3, 4, 5, like just like depending on the day, like if you needed to up through that process? Did you kind of go back and forth a lot before you finally landed on?
I wing it. So I done that way. If I go to sleep and I take 4 and I wake up the next morning and I don't have a movement, then I take 2 more in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah, I know I need to have a bowel movement in the morning in order to feel good. So if I haven't had one, then I'll take 2 more BioCleanse like first thing when I wake up.
Okay. Super. That's helpful.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone else have any other questions? Okay, we will wrap. Thank you, Shauna. Those are great questions, and I think those will help a lot of people. Because situations like when you travel, when you're sick, when you're super stressed out, that's when your things are going to change. And so you'll learn over the course how to titrate yourself up and down based on how you feel. And I do the same for me, similar. That if nothing happens in the morning, then I'll adjust accordingly. So thank you for sharing that. Anyways, we will see you guys next week, and some of you will see each other in an hour or so. Okay, talk to you soon. Good night, everyone.